In continuation to the meritocracy, peace and abundance, family, in continuation to the meritocracy, we also have to be aware that some people came here into Africa a couple of hundreds of years ago with degrees, or maybe their families had degrees from Europe or some prestigious university somewhere. They came into Africa with degrees. They set up a system that required those degrees. So obviously they were already ahead of the people that were already here. Then during the colonization, they established companies. Obviously they employed their people, European people. This is not meant to be racist. I'm not racist. I love all people. I love all people. I'm a Christian. However, I'm trying to highlight something here. And during the apartheid, same thing happened. While some African people were suffering, never had a chance to go to a school, never had the money to afford to go into a better school, into a good school, never had good quality education, never had access to a university. So how then do we communicate meritocracy in that scenario? Now imagine that person who never had an access to the university was your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, and that person worked as a gardener his entire life, or maybe he worked in some uranium mine somewhere owned by some people and he died because of radiation poisoning, or they were in some asbestos mine and they died. Now you as a child, you were not able to go to a good quality school because your parent wasn't there, right? And somebody who came from Europe enjoyed the benefits of colonization, enjoyed the benefits of the apartheid because of the color of their skin. Now that person is saying meritocracy, but you never had access to a good quality school, but that person or that person's child went into a private school. Let's talk about meritocracy. They had access to a private school because they enjoyed the wealth and the riches coming from the apartheid government. Let's talk about meritocracy. That's not meritocracy. Now you finished your school in some rubbish school somewhere in some village. Now, and that other person's child went to a private school. They have good quality contacts. They connected, well connected to high people and high places and wealthy families. Let's talk about meritocracy. You then go to university. You cannot afford, but because of the government, which you're supposed to hate, has given you NSFAS, then you get access into that school just for you to just to get in. Then you're told, oh yeah, I want meritocracy. Meanwhile, that other child went to a private school. In fact, he can even leave school and get a job somewhere because of the contacts that they have. I've seen that. Meritocracy. They in university with you, they can afford private lessons. They can afford the most expensive books. You cannot afford those books. You're an African child. Not every person can afford. I mean, most people, as I said, they're still suffering from the direct effects of apartheid. Let's talk about meritocracy. Now you finish university. Obviously, your results are not going to be the same. Let's talk about meritocracy. This child who has got good contacts, who knows families, who's got probably the wealth, who's in that position. Let's talk about meritocracy, family. Now this child is finished at university, high grades. Let's talk about meritocracy. High grades. Now this child needs a job. You need a job. You finished university because of NSFAS. Who's going to be hired in private sector? Private sector doesn't need BE. Meritocracy, right? You're not going to get that job. Now we have a government which is saying we're going to employ these people because they've been disenfranchised. They've been disadvantaged. But we're going to try to give them a chance through the BEE. We're going to at least give contracts that have BEE just so that we can help these people who've been disenfranchised for hundreds of years. And people say meritocracy, remove that. Family, meritocracy.